Another day, another actually wet socks video.
I should never have smoked that shit on the plane. Now I'm in an underwater society run by an Ayn Rand fetishist. What's up, game? And welcome to another installment of the critically acclaimed series, Review.
Video games, what's the deal? They say they're fun, but each and every one has made me want to kill myself. I'm a fucking wreck. Pillars of Eternity has somehow found a small, very small, but permanent residence in my mind. And I don't know why, so I decided to go back and look into it. What is it about this game that has stayed with me for so long? Let's find out. Our adventure starts with a painting of a caravan traveling through the wild, with the narration from a man who sounds like he'd make a great father figure.
He is on the right course. A dim lantern, his only protection against the encroaching darkness.
The most important part of any RPG is character customization. The first question the game asks you regards sex, but considering you're watching this video, it's safe to say you aren't having any, so we'll just choose the dominant one. Then there is the race question, which Pillars, like the true gamer it is, brings up almost immediately. And it gives you plenty of options to choose from, and it provides you with plenty of stats for each. Pillars being very particular, uncomfortably particular actually, about the inherent traits and value of each race. To choose from there is humans, also known as folk in Pillars of Eternity, is the most common race in the world. But despite this, don't make up the majority of arrogance crimes. That would of course be the elves. Aumaua. According to the wiki, the Aumaua is one of the civilized races, but according to me they're the only race that is absolutely balling. Every dwarf is a friend and a comrade. Elves, whose ears are as sharp as the knife to put in your back, however. I have been advised not to spend the next 20 minutes saying elf-related slurs. So we move on. Manlit furries, and finally godlike. The most metal race of them all and what most new players will choose. Those players being boys, but we are men. So the choice is obvious. And not only is there plenty of races, each race has a sub-race too, kinda like in real life where a white person can either be civilized or French. Then you of course choose your class, and holy shit, I'm not reading through all of that shit. You choose the right class and go on to choosing spells and then attributes for a character. And like all proper character customizations, Pillars ask you what culture you want your character to hail from, which affects conversations and gives you a bonus attribute. But not only that, then you also gotta pick your background. Are you a hunter, an indie bandcamp artist, or a NEET for example, which also affect conversation and attributes, of course. And now you can finally do something about that ugly mug, and it's limited.
Jesse.
No matter what you do, you'll make an ugly motherfucker, but luckily for you, your character will be hard to make out during the game, and you can choose a portrait, which will be displayed in your HUD along with your companions, that better reflect the person your character truly is. And then after a while you're done with your character model, then you pick a voice and a suitable name, and off you go to the rest of the game. The game starts out in
back ass of nowhere.
After the caravan you were traveling with took a sudden stop because of your bitch-made character has, quote unquote, taken suddenly ill, and now you gotta go out and collect those berries and shit. Oh, and your caravan also conveniently stopped on some ancient ruins, protected by its very defensive descendants. And oh look, right after leaving for some fruity berry picking, the caravan was attacked. How unfortunate. If only there was some kind of warning, like some huge ass ruins. Anyways, the natives of this land want you dead, so you do a removal act on their asses and escape with the other survivors into some caves, where you do some quote unquote dungeon crawling, killing some endangered species on your way, and make your white asses to the exit, where you bear witness to some sort of Reddit incel meetup.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was.
Holy fuck! I'm coming!
You wake up after being rendered as thunder from the Baja blast of the strange device, this moment becoming your personal 9/11, and you see that all your companions are Baja blasted out of this world, meaning they fucking died. Luckily, there are no cops in any fantasy settings, so you aren't persecuted for simply being a dwarf too close to a crime scene. But being fantasy, you now have strange ass visions that of course bear absolutely no significance on the plot or world whatsoever. Don't be silly. As any character trapped in a fantasy world, you travel countless miles on your stinky dwarf feet and, you guessed it, arrive at a village. Oh look at all these people hanging out. Oh look at all these people hanging. Does it perhaps have something to do with a curse? After speaking with the local white people, you found out that yes, there is a curse in the area. After meeting a good-for-nothing elf with multi-personality disorder, you rest at the local inn, disturbed by a dream that urges you to go to a hangman's tree, where your dwarven ass starts telepathically communicating with one of the bodies hanging from the tree.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
So turns out, you're a watcher. A watcher is a person who can see and communicate with souls, both of the living and the dead, which explains the visions from before. Souls is at the essence of Pillars' story and world, and the further you go, the more you will learn about souls and the world's treatment of them. The dwarven woman told you about an old watcher named Merwald, who holds up in an old keep named Caed Nua. That is your next destination. But before you do so, you meet none other than the one and only McCree from the critically unacclaimed game Overwatch.
17.5. $17.5. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman. The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
Who just spent the last couple of minutes smoking his pipe containing an unspecified herbal mix and watching you telepathically, talk with a hanging corpse. He ends up trailing along with you and the elf to Caed Nua, of course. You arrive, meet an absolute Chad outside the castle walls.
I'm glad you're not discouraged. Come then. Who knows what we will find inside?
Destroy a couple of squatters, have a short talk with a throne.
Another watcher in Caed Nua, glowing very brightly indeed to these eyes. What strange happenstance.
And find Merwald, asking him a couple questions about watchers and the incels from the start.
So fragile, the Watcher's mind. So real, his memories. Once awakened, how can he sleep? You were reminded of it. Strong memories, lingering lives. Can't forget, can't unsee. Keys of lead, books of burden.
You have been informed that the incels are named the Leaden Key, and that the ritual has given you Leaden Key poisoning, causing an awakening in you, making you a watcher. He gives you clues of where to find them, and you and your party set off for a grand adventure of clicking the left mouse button. Listen, I love clicking my left mouse button as much as the next guy, but can you all please tell me what the appeal is with turn-based combat? You click on some icons and switch between characters, and then sit back and watch them do some gay ass swings and magic blasts at each other, and then maybe click another icon or two. Call me a dumbass, but I prefer my combat systems where you're directly involved. Slashing, dodging, shooting, shitting. I want to feel the impact. I want to feel like I'm hitting something. No bro, I swear bro, please, it's just strategy bro, please, it's for intellects bro. Please, I swear, look at the hotbar bro. Look at the hotbar bro. The animations bro, please listen to me, this is how it's meant to be. This is how it's meant to be played. Strategy is for gays and women, and I just want to kill. At least the devs made some of the enemies just explode when you kill them.
My name is Skylar White-Yo.
But it's not enough, goddammit. I guess if you're into this kind of thing, it's pretty good. Also the devs streamlined it and made it play more smoothly than in the olden days. What feels gameplay more than combat is walking. And let me give you this advice, for the love of Aeofis, turn on fast walk, unless you want to spend 50 hours just walking from one zone to another. But when walking around, for example in a dungeon, enable scout mode to scout ahead and highlight potential traps.
Keeping quiet. Worth a look.
Map secrets or treasures. Another part of the gameplay is being a landlord. The before mentioned Ket Nua is without a lord, and the duty therefore falls to you to tax the population of the lands and rebuild the old ruin of Ket Nua. We all know taxation is theft, but when I do it, it's called looting, and it's a result of me going gamer mode. You get the privilege of witnessing menus where you get to choose what you're gonna spend the taxes on. It could be barracks and mercenaries to enforce your rightful and lawful claim on people's hard-earned money, or you could spend it on a hedge maze, while getting raided by bandits. Also, you get to talk to this enchanted throne.
Not as a land is its lord's, more as a child is its mother's.
And sometimes you even get to sit on her lap. At one point you even get to wage a little war over your rightful claim to Ket Nua, which is waged through this pretty PowerPoint slideshow, where you get to make decisions during the battle, and based on how you upgraded your keep beforehand, namely your barracks, will decide how you do in the battle. There are plenty of examples of this kind of gameplay throughout the game. An example can be your party needs to climb a cliff to get a dragon's egg, and this becomes either a skill check where you send the best suited member of your party, or you can simply use a grappling hook if you happen to have one. If that bores you, then you can always enter people's houses at will and unannounced and take all of their belongings, because what are they gonna do? Tell the dev team? Exploration in Pillars of Eternity is nothing short of breathtaking. The world looks very familiar to previous fantasy titles, but then at the same time it doesn't. It gives you this sense of comfort and familiarity when traveling the world, while also providing you with that sense of discovering something new. The art style reminds me of Thomas Kincaid paintings, and while some people might say that's a bad thing, those people are tasteless fools that can't enjoy an egg and bacon sandwich unless it comments on how capitalism made their dicks not work and how techno-Maoism is the Viagra society needs. The colors are so full of life and the textures are so crisp, I just want to take a bite out of them. And the game's art style strikes a balance between looking both modern while still having an old school feel to it. If we were judging the game's presentation based solely on its world, it'd be perfect. But unfortunately we haven't gotten to the character models yet.
This edible ain't shit.
However, the characters that inhabit these models are anything but low quality. Every member you bring into your party plays as a key ingredient in the dish that is Pillars of Eternity, except for Durance. I don't have the endurance for Durance. Also, fuck this furry manlet. But everyone else are straight up sizzling in this pan. And Adair, Kanarua,
Come see.
and Alof are the garlic in the mix. The overall story of Pillars is pretty great too, and it and its world feels unique and most importantly fantastical, which I at times feel a lot of modern fantasy seem to forget in order to appear more mature and edgy. I was gonna try and explain the world and the story, but I can't afford another concussion right now. Staying true to the genre, Pillars give you plenty of quests, and Pillars manages to make almost all of them interesting and worthwhile, and most importantly memorable. Fewer merely throwaway quests, and those that are still contain something that will motivate you to complete them. That isn't just loot. Not all RPGs do this, but I absolutely love it, and that's letting you not only view your active quests, but also all of your completed ones, and it fills me with such an immense satisfaction. The menus of Pillars are plentiful and bountiful, and bestow upon you the same satisfaction of crossing out things on your to-do list. My main gripe with Pillars is that there's not enough fantasy racism, which I will never not find funny. There is the one Crucible Knight you meet in the Crucible Keep, but not much more than that. As it turns out, the reason Pillars of Eternity has stayed in my mind for what feels like an eternity is the simple fact that it's a damn fine RPG, with an immense and detailed world and companions that are finger-licking good. So go and get it, and play it, or get real and get rid of this disgusting habit of yours.